Welcome to the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent.
Steve, welcome back to Friday at 4. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing very well, Chuck. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there. Doing all right.
Uh, that's a good thing. Hang in there. There are worse alternatives, so hang in there.
Right. Hope everyone had a great holiday yesterday.
Yeah, it was a good time. Hung out. Wednesday night, I went to my cousin's, which was really nice. You know, we got together like eight of us, so it was really nice and cozy. And
Right.
yesterday, I just spent relaxing. I was so burned out. I just needed to just chill, do nothing, relax, and it was good. It was good.
Yeah, I took
Yeah.
the day to spend with my kids early on, and the rest of the day I was watching TV,
Okay.
relaxing, and got to editing a little bit more on this last episode of the year for
Hmm.
Chasing the Stars, and got a little frustrated because there's some issues with Microsoft stuff, and that making me angry. But it's Microsoft. What can you say, right? It's always issues
There
with
you
their
go.
stuff. So yeah, trying to
Right.
find an alternative that didn't work too well. So I went back to Microsoft and I'll deal with that in the new year.
There
So
you go. Can't do anything
yes,
about it now. Right.
yeah, right. I just gonna have to continue what I'm doing and do the best I can with it, you know.
Yeah.
So which is a great topic for today. And we had bounced it around a little bit earlier about this. And
Hmm.
I think a good topic for this is what are we going to do starting in 2026? Our goals. So yeah, I'm excited for 26. I really am. I'm starting
Yeah.
to figure out what I want to do, my business model, how I want this thing to go going forward. So I
Okay.
want to really focus on that and see where it takes me, you know. So we'll get into more
Hmm.
detail about that in a little bit, but I want to give you some time, some airtime here to talk about your goals a little bit. So what you got?
So there's a couple of different ways to look at this, and I know there's always multiple ways, right? Um,
Yeah.
so one is what did we do? General statement. What did we do in 25 that was good, that gave us some good results to build on? The other side to that is what happened in 25 that we did that did not give us the good results, so we need to change. So there's really two ways to look at it, and that can either be personal or business. And again, no right or wrong, but the whole premise before we dive in is to be able, and it's not always easy, but to be able to sit back, really be honest with ourselves. What really did work? What really did not? And that's the tough part of not just saying, oh, lousy year, didn't work. I'm done with this nonsense. Let's move on. But why didn't it work? And that's the key. Because unless you really be honest with yourself and say, all right, I was going to do this and I did it and it blew up in my face.
Yeah.
But unless you are honest enough, you're going to repeat that same mistake because you have to make that conscious decision to do something different. And that's what this session is all about is what can we do different?
Yeah.
So from my God, you were going to say something?
No, no, no. I was
Oh,
just
okay.
going to say,
Okay.
I'm just picking off you. Yeah.
Okay. So from my perspective, what I started to do and did not follow through, which was a mistake, and I'm going to get a little personal here, is and I said this before, I'm single. I'm a widower. I
And I'm sorry for
started
that, Steve. I want to
No, no,
apologize.
I'm
I'm
not.
sorry.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it for that reason. I'm saying it as an example of things for me personally that I need to do. So I started to get into the online dating. Um, my experiences were not that great early on in the year, and instead of me continuing to try maybe different sites, I chose to stop.
Good choice.
So if you look back at where were you a year ago and where are you today, from that respect, I'm in the same spot. Again, it was my choice. Looking back, maybe not the best choice. So for me, one of my goals in 26 is to find, let's call it a, I know it's probably an old-fashioned word, but let's call it a companion.
Companion. Good
And
word.
where that goes, who knows?
Yeah.
But you can't run before you walk. So let me get a companion before I consider potentially a more significant relationship. That again, that's me personally. So that's on the kind of like the personal side. On the business side, I started dabbling in posting more on social media. So my goal for 26 is to go all in. Um, I'm focusing again for me. I'm not saying for the world. For me, I'm focusing on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. So I'm going to start to post once a day in the morning, and then once on each of the three platforms, and then a couple hours later, another once on each of the three platforms, 5 days a week. That's my goal. My goal is on Sundays to post a video. So again, a goal is to post, but also understanding videos are becoming more and more popular. I need to post the videos. So the first one will be pure text. The second one will be video. So for me, that should help me get my name out. People can see me, see who I am, hear me talk, know that I'm real, that I'm not a bot when you look at a regular text-based post.
Yeah.
So that's for me.
Yeah.
Um, I found out 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, my plan in 25 was to access all the high schools in my area, and there are many, and have a presentation on financial literacy geared to the seniors to let them know what's going on, things to be aware of. So when they graduate high school and go into the real world, they're in a better position to make more informed decisions. And again, this is a pure informational, no sales pitch, no products, nothing. It's pure education. And that's what I'm into is the financial literacy.
Yeah.
I found out a couple of weeks ago that in order for me to do that and access the high schools, again, I'm in New York City. In order for me to do this, I need to be a Department of Education approved vendor, which I get it.
I get
They
it.
want to vet you, they want to make sure you're doing what you're doing. I get that. But
Right.
I also found out it's a year-long process between all,
Wow.
yeah, that's what I said. Between all the
Yeah.
paperwork and the approvals and all the stuff that goes with it. So
Yeah.
my goal, and it's already on my calendar, not for this weekend, but for next weekend, which I believe is on Sunday the 4th. I have a block of 2 hours to do a deep dive into the website for the Department of Education approved vendor and start the process.
Not the
That's my
process.
goal. So it's to start it, look at time frames and periodically follow up, make them phone calls. Where are we? What's the status? What else can I provide? Because the goal then is at the end of 26 to be in that position that in early 27, I can start my presentations. Because I met a
Nice.
woman a couple of weeks ago who just happened to have gotten a job in November in a middle school. And when I heard that, I went over and we started to talk. And she said, I would get you in tomorrow if you are an approved vendor. But because you're not, she gave me her info and
Yeah.
said, when you get to that point, let me know and I'll get you in. And it's always who you know, not what you know, right? So she
Yeah.
said,
Right.
I'll get you in, but you
Yeah.
got to be approved first. And that's a year process. So for me, a big deal is get that approval and do my thing.
Yeah.
I'm also um, teaming up with somebody that I work with in Universal Wealth to start to learn a little bit more about taxes because we've already helped several people and I've partnered with somebody to do this, but I want to be able to do this on my own. Is we've partnered with people who are making significant money to help reduce taxes. And there's certain things to do and there's paperwork and it's all within IRS code. So it's all 100% legit. But I want to get into that. So that will help my exposure and my income. So I'm looking to do all that personal and business. So that's me for 2026.
Very nice.
Um,
Very nice.
yeah, it's a lot and it's kind of high level. There's a lot of little details that run all
Yeah.
through it. But the idea is to, again, take a really good look. What did you do that worked? What did you do that did not work in 25 so that you can
Yeah.
make the changes in 26?
Yeah.
So, having said that, I'm going to kind of hand it back to you for a little bit. I know you didn't expect this.
Fine. Yeah,
But
that's fine.
what
Yeah.
as much as you want to reveal, I mean, again, everybody's different, everybody's separate,
Yeah.
keep personal what you want to keep personal, but if you want to
Yeah.
just share a little bit to give the audience an idea of some of the things maybe for them to do to look into they might not have known about before.
Yeah. I think now is a good time to really talk about my life as a whole, what I'm doing,
Mhm.
where I'm headed, what I want to accomplish, because I think the more that people know personal about me is going to help my goals in 26 because while I did not really, I wasn't even close to the goals that I had set for 25, but
Okay.
I'm there. So one of my
Mm.
goals was to contact business owners daily, weekly, monthly to come on the show to try to get profitable, to try to make this, to get people come on and actually help, support the show. So I've done that. Was I successful with it? Not at all, right? Because I didn't follow through. I didn't make that a priority because I was still learning and growing with the show. So I put that on the back
Gotcha.
burner and say, it's okay. I'm not profitable, but what I'm doing is I'm learning how to film better, how to edit better, how I want the
Mhm.
show to go, the flow. So I've learned. So when 2026 hits, I'm ready. 26, the first episode is going to be, I'm on it. I know what I want to do. I know how I want to go. It's going to be totally different, better. I'm really going to make this one shine, right?
Nice.
But what I want to talk about real quick, just the personal side, is that um, I don't know if I don't know how to mention this, if it would be an issue or not, but um, how I make my money, right? How does Chuck survive,
Mm.
daily, weekly, monthly, and you know, by doing rideshare. That's what I do. It's how I make my money, you know, and my goal is to put that behind me. I want to spend my time working on the show now. I want to travel the country. I want to expand out of the Delmarva region and get out west, northwest, west coast, southwest, southeast, And my goal for 26 is to really push this beyond what I've been doing. I feel like I'm stuck in that little
Mm.
hamster wheel, where I'm
Okay.
running 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 show. So my goal, for 26 is to really start focusing more on putting a plan together to contact businesses to help promote the show, to help get me out there, to get them on the show, help support my travels, and to really make the show something that people really love to watch. And the goal is to get this on Netflix, to get this on Amazon.
Nice.
That's the goal. I looked up the how to get it on there. I know what they're looking for.
Mhm.
And what I've been focusing on that half part of this year is I've been focused on what they're looking for to get on the platform. So I am partially there.
Nice.
So as far as I wanted to talk a little bit about, you doing a dating site. I tried that for a while. Was not successful. I met a couple. They just didn't work out. And I did the same thing you did. I got back off of it, deleted my account.
Right.
I don't think I'm ready for that right now because my life is not ready for a
Mm.
relationship, not even a companion. If I was to find a companion, I'm gonna throw it out here in this episode because it would be great. I would love to find someone who wants to travel with me and run the show, have a
Mm.
host or a co-host come with me
Gotcha.
who understands food, understands customer service, and let's work this together. And that's the next part I
Mm.
was talking about for 26 is I want to really find someone to be a host or a co-host with me to run this show, you know? So while I failed a little bit in 25 on those particular goals I was shooting for, 26, I'm going to really hunker down and I'm going to make it happen. I have to, right?
It's it's well, first of all, thank you for being honest. I mean, because I know, it's not easy to say whatever we're feeling in public anyway, but certainly on something like this that we know is going to be recorded and put out there for everybody else to see. So yeah. Um, but again, what I said before goes back to the same thing. What did you do right? What could have been done better? And to really make those changes. So if you're now focused on specific targets, the Netflix and what can you do to get it out there on their site and sell the show if you want to, or work it and get paid however you're structuring it, that's a definite goal, and that's good. Um, Now take that goal, and if that's, let's say that's your mid 26 goal, then the next step would be, what do you need to do by month and then by week to get to that point? How many people do you, and the same thing for me, how many people do you need to call? What's your close rate? What kind of exposure do you need? How often do you have to post? All those things come into play, because just like in my case, to say, I'm going to get out and I'm going to, by the end of 26, I'm going to be able to present in high schools. That's great. But what do I need to do each quarter, each month, each week to get to that point? So I know on my calendar, January 4th, I'm going to go on their site and start the application process. And then based on when it says you should have your next approval in 30 days. I'm just saying, I don't know what it says, but let's say it says 30 days. In 30 days, I'm going to on my calendar and go right back in and email. Hey, it's been 30 days. Has the approval been done yet? What's the next step? So I'm going to keep putting into my calendar every day, week, month, whatever it takes. What's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? Because I know me personally, if I don't put that into the calendar, it doesn't get done.
Yeah.
That's me. It's got to be in the calendar. So that's what I'm going to do for every one of my goals for next year, in the calendar. Every Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whatever day it is. Where am I? What next do I need to do? And
Yeah.
block time to get it done. That's what I need to do.
And one thing I didn't talk about that I really want to happen, how I want to do this is what I really want to do is I want that RV. I want to travel the
Mm.
country, run the show from the RV, live out of it, travel city to city, and just get paid to travel city to city and run this show and
Hmm.
make it expand that way. And while I'm doing that, get everything together, the structure together, so then I can get it submitted to Netflix and Amazon in hopes that they would look at it, like it, and put it on the platform. So I, are these big goals? Yeah, they're really big goals, right? Are they unattainable? I don't think so. I think they're definitely attainable. And they're smart goals, right? I mean,
Mhm.
I'm making them smart goals at this. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
you know, between now and the end of the year, I'm still working on this episode. Between
Mhm.
now and the end of the year, I'm going to really sit down and detail out those few goals I have, and let's see, how do I get there, right? How am I going to make this happen? Because there's three big goals I have, for 26 that I want to make happen by the end of the year. I want to be where I want to be, and I can't wait anymore. 25 was a procrastination year, a scared year because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this. I mean, if you look at my first episode and you look at the last episode, and that's what I'm putting in together now is the year in review episode, you're going to see where I went from, just an idea to where I'm thinking I got something. I got a decent show, and I want to really push this to where I'm comfortable, and it's my passion. It's something that I feel that I love to do, and I want people to share in my success with me of helping small businesses grow by the show that I'm working on.
Good, good. So every, well, a couple times a week, but specifically, I'm going to relate back to this past Monday of this week. And one of our owners has a team meeting, and it's optional. And there were, I don't know how many hundreds of people on the call, and it's a Zoom. And he made a comment similar to or relating to what you said before, is my goal too big? And the comment he made was, better to have big goals and dream big and maybe miss by a little bit than to have smaller goals and hit them. Because if you have two small goals, you know, I'm going to walk across the street to the supermarket, buy my dinner, and come home. That's a goal. Yeah, what's that going to do for you? It's a small goal. You hit it, but what's it going to do for you? But if you're saying, I want to be in Amazon and Netflix by the end of the year, and you have those steps to get there, even if you miss by a little bit, you're going to put yourself in a position that in early 27, you'll hit it. So aim high and come close,
Yeah,
then aim too low and hit it. That's his point. So yeah, I
yeah,
think you're right on target. Don't give up. Keep going.
yeah. I think as this podcast has grown and went along through the year, I think I've learned a lot by just you and I talking and communicating. It's really helped, right? Because every time I do one of these podcasts, I always reflect afterwards, and you and I talk afterwards each
Mhm.
podcast, and I think it really helps to help focus a little bit on what we're doing, right? Because think
Mhm.
about it. After the show, we ask, okay, what do you got working on this weekend? What have I got working on? We share these ideas, and it's a little bit of holding each other accountable, right? To what we're working on for each
Right.
weekend. And I
Hmm.
think I'm missing the mark by that too. I don't have a specific mentor who's pushing me to the max,
Gotcha.
right?
Gotcha.
And I think that's what I need. I think it's something I'm missing. So anybody that's
Mhm.
listening out there, I'm looking for a mentor. Absolutely. You want to come in and help mentor me? I'm open to somebody hold me accountable for what I'm trying to do because
Mhm.
I need that. Personally, I need that. I love when someone drives me. Someone says, dude, what are you doing? What are you working on? You know?
So to that exact point, early this year, yeah, early this year, the person who brought me into the business, I consider, I mean, yes, I'm on her team, but I consider her a business partner, and she is my mentor. Um, she asked for every night, Monday through Friday night, I give her a short text message on what I did that day. She asked everybody on her team. I'm the only one that's doing it. And that's okay because I can't worry about other people.
Right.
But every night, that keeps me accountable. How many people did I speak with? How many meetings did I go to? How many? What were the results? Not just how many, what were the results? And every night. And for me personally, that has helped me tremendously. To your point, I need to be accountable to somebody,
Yeah.
because if I'm not, it won't. I know me already. If it won't get done, calendar or not, it's not. I will find the excuse. I'm a procrastinator. So I need to be on time, on point, saying, "Oh, Chuck, today I did,"
Yeah. You know what's
and
interesting?
it
And you know what's interesting? This happened the first time around in 2008 when I started my mystery shopping company. The same thing happened and what I'm going through now. Fear, fear of failure.
mm,
I am afraid of failing. And I'm going to put that out there to you and everybody that's listening. Fear is a real thing,
mm-hmm,
but we can overcome it. Once you start doing something, that fear can go away because once I
mm-hmm,
found how to contact business owners that back in '08, my
mm-hmm.
business took off. I
Okay.
was on top of the world until my
Mm,
divorce, obviously. But
yeah.
now that I'm restarting, I'm doing this new business and the podcast and the show. I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid of being
Mm,
back to where I was started before. And I think
okay.
that's what's holding me back. I think that's another small goal I have to get myself through starting today and going through 26. I have to put that fear behind me and say, why are you afraid? You've done this before. You shouldn't be afraid, right? But fear is destroying me. I want to tell you that fear is destroying me. It's allowing me to be stuck.
So there's a couple of thoughts. If you take the word fail, FAIL, it's first attempt in learning. So yeah, you'll fail, but learn. The other thing is if you take the word fear, FEAR, it's two definitions: face everything and run, or face everything and rise. But everybody who was a success without exception failed, some more than others.
Yeah.
Edison, what was it, 10,000 times before he created the electric bulb? Um, how many times did Colonel Sanders fail before Popeyes became a hit?
So that's two things that I stick with me is one, it's Walt Disney, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thousands of people told him, you're nuts, you're crazy, it'll never work. Now
Yep.
look at it, right?
Yep.
And the
Yep.
second one's Colonel Sanders. 1,100 times before that KFC recipe became a thing, you
Right.
know? So those are two things I talk about that every day of my life that keep going
Yep.
because, your failures are just going to keep getting you better and better, you know?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Most people start something and stop. And in many cases, they're stopping right before they would have been a success.
Yeah. What helps me, Steve, is I always tell myself, Chuck, you've only been doing this show for a year. A
Mm-hmm.
year. And look how far I've come in a year. I've listened to people who told me your stuff sucks and you need to fix it. I've heard
Mm-hmm.
people say that's the best episode you've ever done. So I get both sides of it. And I'm listening and I'm learning and I'm growing because anybody out there that's listening to this who's told me anything, thank you, because I've learned from it. People
Mm-hmm.
made me angry. People hurt my feelings. People really made me want to punch something. But I've learned from it and said, I'm glad people are honest with me because it let me understand that I am in the right direction. I'm learning, I'm growing, and I'm doing my thing. And it's only a
You
year
are.
young. So.
Understand also, and I hate to say this, but it is the reality. People who are not successful themselves don't want you to be successful.
Misery
Therefore,
loves
they will
company, right?
constantly tell you you're not good, your idea sucks, whatever else. Because they're not successful, they don't want you to be.
Yeah.
So, who are you listening to? In fact, one of the seniors in my company, I forget who it was, also said, you are going to become similar to the five closest people you hang out with all the time. So the question, who are you hanging out with? People who are negative or people who are positive that want to help you?
Right.
Hang out with the positive people. I'm sure you've heard the statement, when you go into a room, never be the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
Never, because then you have nothing to learn.
Yep.
Be humble, go into a room where you are not and learn. Ask and listen. Ask and listen. That's why you have one mouth and two ears. Ask, make a statement, and listen and absorb. That's how we get better. That's
You
how I
got it.
learned how to play chess.
Yeah, and you hit it on the head, Steve. There are a lot of people out here who will not want to support you. They rather
Mhm.
sit back and watch you fail.
Correct.
However, they are watching everything we're
Mhm.
doing, but
Correct.
they won't like, comment, or share. They want to see us fail.
Correct.
Yeah.
So a long
In a
time
galaxy
ago,
far, far away.
when I was young and the dinosaurs roamed the earth, um, my son said that to me years ago. Um, if somebody says something that's negative, don't answer. Don't get down to their level. The best thing you can do is go off, become successful, and let your actions speak for themselves. Don't get yourself on somebody else's level. Don't get into a screaming match. Don't go down to their level. Don't start getting negative. Work extra hard and prove them wrong. It's
Yeah,
the best thing you can do.
1000%.
Yeah. Yeah.
1000%. Yeah. That's been a challenge for me this year is fighting through, and I'm not alone in this. I get it. The economy's tough. Fighting through all the
Mm,
negativity, fighting through trying, I'm in survival mode, trying to
mm,
survive, trying to figure all this out. And I think I want to sort that out in 26. I want to get a game plan together, a roadmap to not be so bogged down in this economy,
good.
and not be so stressed out with just trying to survive. I'm done with just surviving. I want to grow in 26. I want this to be my year,
Good.
you know? 25 was supposed to be it. 24 was supposed to be it. 23, all the way back to 2020 when COVID hit, and it just snowballed from there. So
Mm,
every year from 2020 was supposed to be the year of clarity, and that just went all down to
mhm.
hell because of COVID, and then it's been
Right.
snowballing ever since. And I think now is the time to really persevere and show people that I do have something. I have a good show. I
Hmm.
have a good business model, and on your side too, right? I mean, you know, you have something to offer people. You can help people financially, make them financially
Yeah.
stable, you know?
We have to, we get, and I can speak for myself, generally, certainly, we get into a rut. Now, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but we're in a rut and we do the same thing over and over. They become our habits. We do things over and over. So, what habits do you have? My habits for a long time were procrastination. Now I put
Fear.
things on a calendar and I know, and through time of, yeah, it's on a calendar. That's nice. So what? Because I would put on five things to do today and I get done with two, maybe three,
Mhm.
but there's always tomorrow. And I would move the item from today to tomorrow, which means tomorrow I'm not getting what I wanted to get done. But that's what I would do.
Right.
Now I'm getting, and I'm still a work in progress. I'm not where I want to be yet,
Yeah.
but I'm much, much closer. That now, if I put those five items on, I make sure that I put enough time legitimately
Yeah.
to get that task done. Now, if it's an hour task, I give it maybe an hour and 15 just in case. I'm not
Yeah.
giving it 5 hours because that's ridiculous, right? But I give
Yeah.
it like an
Sure.
hour and 15. But I know because I'm starting to train my brain that if I don't get that task done in an hour and 15 minutes, I must stop and start the next task. Now, keep in
You're
mind,
smart.
now I'm on task two, but task one has not been completed. That means at the end of the day, I have to go back and finish task one, which makes my day longer but I have to get it done because I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Yeah, tomorrow
So
could be a tougher
therefore, if
day.
I'm
Yeah,
scheduling time, I have to work smart.
yeah,
I can't just keep
yeah,
saying, tomorrow I'll take a nap, watch TV. I can't do that. But
yeah,
it's okay because when you start getting things done of substance, it feels good. And that starts to get the mind going of, yes, you can, yes, you can, yes, you can.
yeah.
And it just
It's
starts
so
to
true.
build on it. It
Yep,
is. You have
so
to
true.
train the brain, train the mind. That's what it's
Yep.
all about.
And
Yeah.
speaking of time, 516-727
Well,
2294. Reach out to Steve, man. What a great conversation. It's been
yeah,
a good
yeah.
one.
And reach out to
Yeah.
Chuck, 410-935-6132.
Yeah. I love how we keep these on time and we hold each other accountable to not run over. And I think we do a great job of keeping it to our time limit because we don't want to ramble on for hours and we don't want to keep it 5 minutes. We really have a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
groove going here with
yeah,
these topics. And if anybody wants to reach out to us to talk furthermore, there's our numbers right on the screen,
yeah. Reach out.
email us, our website, all our information's there, and let's have a conversation, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
See,
Have
another
this.
great episode.
Yep, yep.
Um,
Have a great end of 25 into 26. This is our last
yeah.
episode
Yeah,
for
last
this
episode of
year.
the year.
For this
Yeah,
year.
last
Yeah.
episode of the year. I can't believe how long we've been doing this and how many episodes we've been through. This is like episode 68, I think, or
Wow.
69, and episode 68. And it's
Yeah.
really I love the knowledge. And we have
Hmm.
people reach out to me all the time and say, "Hey, great episode. Appreciate the information." So I'm glad that
Yeah.
somebody and people are actually listening and learning from us,
Yeah.
and we love to learn from other people, you know.
Absolutely we do.
So
Yeah. If you have
yeah,
any
so
thoughts, comments, again, want to be a guest, stop by,
exactly.
let us know.
Yeah. And what's our
It's
phrase?
4 o'clock somewhere.
Work like somewhere. Steve, have a great rest of the day and the weekend, and
You
we'll
too.
talk soon, buddy.
You got it. Have a great new year. We won't see you
Have a
until
great New
after New
Year.
Year.
You too. And everybody have a great New
Right.
Year. Take care.
You got it. Thanks, Chuck.
See
Thanks,
ya.
everyone. Take care.
You got
Bye-bye.
it, buddy. Bye.
You've been watching the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent. Thanks for watching.